Okay, this video is, of course, the Koine. It's a Koine news broadcast. Koine means common, and of course news. And yes, I alliterated. Very funny, wasn't it? I do that because a lot of preachers like to do that in their sermon outlines. So Koine means common, and this book by Sam Harris talks about free will, and something we'll address first. And by remaining in the Bible, we don't really have to be caught up in all the verbiage and hostility and banter out there. He says if the scientific community were to declare free will an illusion, it would precipitate a culture war far more belligerent than the one that has been waged on the subject of evolution. Well, the title of this lesson is Agent Causation. Agent Causation. I'll toss this aside for a moment. It's Agent Causation. And it was discussed and taught centuries and centuries before even the English language as we now know it today, and even the phrase free will existed. And basically what the young man Sam Harris teaches is event causation. He denies this. This, if you just remember that this is, as we talked before, by the time, well, let's just go from the evolution of this, no pun intended, but we'll look at the evolution of it. You have in the Hebrew Bible, you have agent causation. And that's actually called the Hiphil stem. And you can look this up in any book. There's this little book I have here. I'll show you very quickly. It's a biblical Hebrew syntax. It's an introduction. It's not really a heavy read, and you can go and then there's a section on the Hiphil stem, and it gives examples of causation, how the subject causes the action, and also this easy book to read, by the way. You don't have to be very scholastic. It's just the Bible. It's not someone's not asking you to study physics. And then you can get one of these little analytical keys to the Old Testament, and you can just flip it open here to, let's say, 2 Chronicles 20 verse 20. You can see the Hiphil imperative, which is a command, of course, and it's with the verb believe, and this becomes very important in these pretentious debates today about free will or no free will, or what kind of free will, libertarian free will, compatibilistic free will. All of that's novel. Those are novel things. If you go back to the older things, you'll see here's a Hiphil imperative in which the prophet was commanded to speak to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and tell them to cause. He said, you all cause to believe. Well, they were the agent causing, and they were to cause themselves. Now, that's problematic for people today. In one university course, it's observed that many libertarians find the notion of agent causation far too mysterious and problematic, and compatibilists don't even want to discuss it. Well, it's strange that they would want to talk about contemporary issues. For example, if these, as we move away from agent causation, I'll just use AC for that, and that's in the Hiphil. I mean, you just have to deny the entire Bible, the Hebrew Bible, if you don't believe in it, which is okay. I mean, you either believe the Bible or you don't. And then this is what grew to free agency, which I remind you that John Locke said free will was unintelligible because it attaches this word free to the will of man rather than to the agency, which is the man. And then it evolves, and of course then it breaks out here into an undefined free will idea compatible, and then a libertarian free will version. And basically Sam Harris is out here in this contemporary novel realm arguing these abstractions and traditions and philosophies. He's not even moved back to the free agency, which he's trying to say that even the agent there is not free, that it's all event caused. And then, of course, he's certainly not going to come back to the Bible and teach what the Hifil stem says. So either you believe the Bible or you don't, but whatever's problematic about agent causation, I suppose it's the same problem that anyone who doesn't believe the Bible has, is that responsibility to respond to a command to believe. Actually, the command is to, as an agent, according to the Bible, the God, and He sent this prophet or priest or kings, messengers, and they would command. And in this case, the command was telling the agent, which that's what we are, and told us to cause. He said, you, the subject, cause to believe. It was a command. So in this case, there is a catalyst insisting and working on the agent, but the agent must cause you. So agent, and I'll just write it out, agent, cause, it's a command, agent to believe. Now, I really don't know what all the debate's about, except it's very abstract, and but Sam Harris teaches conversational intolerance, whatever that is. Again, to Baptist folks, Christians throughout all the centuries, conversational intolerance is just a nice way of saying tongue screws. And we had those placed on us, and he knows this in history, the martyrs. Again, the atheists are a little late. But agent causation's in the Bible, and you can see why people would rather, I suppose, argue things that can't be defined, such as phrases like free will. I wouldn't know if you're referring to libertarianism or compatibilism or free agency, but I do know when you go to the Bible, you can go to the original language and find agent causation. So that's enough lesson on that. That's plenty of material just for that one point alone. But yes, if the scientific community declares this an illusion, that'll be just fine with me. I really don't know are they calling libertarianism an illusion, or compatibilism an illusion, or are they saying agent causation, what's new about someone denying the Bible? But this phrase, you can toss it out the door once you study Hebrew. And in Koine, of course, the common language of the Greek New Testament, you won't find these abstractions there as well. But I wanted to go all the way back to the Hebrew just to show that there's nothing lost for the Christian, the common Christian, who just goes to the Bible as the ultimate authority. The languages resolve all this. So, long before free will and different versions of it, there was agent causation. It's always been here. Even one of the philosophers, Aristotle, said he considered the oldest form of free will. Well, I don't know about that. He's just a philosopher talking. But agent causation was in the kind of language the Old Testament was written in. All right, that's enough. Thanks.